Hey, good morning. Last day of 2021. Amazing couple of years, right? I'm going to go right into a suggestion for you. All right, but first, I keep forgetting to say this. We have a program called Story Formula that enrollment will start basically tomorrow and it will end. It closes. Wasn't very clear. It closes on January 17th. That's Dr. Martin Luther King Day. So it's a Monday. Why? Because we start on Tuesday. All right, so let's get right to what I want to talk with you about today. Okay, this is our MORE map. It's the structure that we use around here to help people. See, I have this off a little bit. There we go. It's a structure that we use around here to help people figure out, the story formula, like exactly using narrative, where do you start? And here's the thing. Whether you want to or not, you're going to be thinking about New Year's resolutions. And I just want to show you the order. So there are about 10 regular, consistently, people want to make more money. They want to get in better shape. They want to spend more time with their kids. They want to live a life that's important. And I'm just going to show you that there's a particular sequence. So if what you're doing over here is you're saying, well, what I really want is I want to make more money. That's what I want. For nothing wrong with that, but I'm just going to show you something. If there's something wrong with a child of yours, that is going to be in direct conflict with earning more money. And that, as I look at it, these are my values, that is as it should be, because there's a particular sequence. And here's the sequence. You have to get above the line. Below the line is basically poor health. So you have to think about your health first. Look, it's hard to love somebody if you're in a lot of pain. It's hard to love somebody if you have a lot of rage and you need to just, maybe move into some forgiveness. It's hard to make a lot of money if your child is falling apart. Now this is our MORE map, we call it. This is you. And really early on in life, you wanted to make your mark. You wanted to be a teacher, be a doctor, be a firefighter, cure cancer, help with world peace, get clean water to everybody, whatever it was. But really early on, there was something you were attracted to that was like, this is what I want to do, this is who I want to be. So this is the MORE map, because I want people to think in terms of more for themselves. But you can't, if you're trying to make a mark and your health is falling apart, this is going to catch up with you. Now there's also a particular sequence, I think, in health. I think, because these all sort of run together in reality, but I still think there's a bit of a sequence, which is, I think you really need to take care of your spirit first. So if you're thinking about New Year's resolutions, really do think about something that will take care of you spiritually. That might be a walk every morning. It might be reading. It might be some kind of reading. It might be some kind of prayer meditation. And let's see how these run together. And then it's really going to be physical next. Like if you're continually pulled away from what you're doing because of pain, or you're continually pulled away from what you're doing because of high blood pressure, it's just hard to make a mark if you're regularly having physical issues. And then the next one is emotional. I read an article the other day that the mental health of everybody on the planet is down. Yeah, that's because we haven't been able to be with each other. The other part about emotional health is that the negative emotions are ones that you need to think about. And the negative emotions are, the three of them are anger, fear, what am I forgetting? Sorrow. I don't think that's right. I think sorrow is not the one I'm thinking about. Anger. This is about threat. No, this is about injustice. This one is about threat. Oh, it's not this one, it's contempt. And this one is about just seeing something that is repulsive to you, which, by the way, you maybe think you won't find any contempt in anything once you're evolved, but then you have to really take a look at, the child sex slave trade. That's repulsive. Okay, and other things that are repulsive. And then the next one is intellectual, and you might think, well, it's not. I think there's a lot of intellectual unfitness, frankly. So part of what, and this just means like, a brain that you're not making think about things deeply. Right. So really, if you are putting together your New Year's resolutions, please consider where are you the least fit in these 4 arenas, and think about getting, we call it above the line. Below the line turns you into like somebody who's an escapist. I'm going to talk about this in another video pretty soon, or somebody who's just a survivalist. And look, I've had to escape, I've had to survive. There's nothing wrong with those. You just don't want it to become like who you are. All right, so this is your number 1. Your number 2 is really going to be, oh, I see I put relatedness in the wrong color up here. Your number 2 is going to be relatedness. And this is the order for that. For most people, if there's something wrong with your child, that's going to keep you awake at night. Then it usually goes into marriage. There's something wrong with the marriage. Things are okay with the kids, but the marriage is rough. You need to, and then for the most part, it has to do with other family, not always, or friends who are like family. So that's basically the order. I'm not saying don't do anything with your other family and friends until the stuff with, just know that this is the one that is going to be getting most of your attention, again, because you're a human being and this is how we are built. Over here, there's a lot more variety if what you're thinking about is earning more money. I'm just going to give you a really simple thing. It is difficult to do things like build assets and, put money, create a legacy, do a college fund, do all of that stuff, unless you're doing one extremely, you can't save the world until you've saved yourself a little bit. There's one thing that is pure and simple you have to start with, which is you have to make more money than you spend, which means you can bring your spending down and you can bring your earnings up. And that has to be your number 1 over here. So, and this is in order. Health has to come first, then home, then marketplace. And these are in the order you have to think about. This is just profit. Profit first. You have to think about profit. Profit has a bad name for a lot of people, but that's sort of greediness. There's a difference between making a little bit more than you spend. It means you are taking good care of yourself and you have some left over to save the world. Okay, so that's the order when you're putting together your, so this is the order. I'm going to do one more thing for you here. That might seem like a lot, but I'm going to give you a super duper simple way of thinking about all of this. You have 168 hours. I'm sorry, yes, 168 hours in the week. None of these goals get 168 hours. My recommendation is that you really think about 84 for your health. 84 hours for your health. Now if you go like, oh, that seems just wackadoodle. Well, keep in mind you're sleeping. Psychologists will tell you the number 1 way to know if somebody's mental health is okay is how are they sleeping. So in that 84 hours is good sleep, and there's exercise, and there's meditation, and there's reading for your own growth. So put half of your week. So just think about that, but that leaves 84 for this stuff. And for the most part, most important relationships do not need, I know this is a shocker for most, but quality time. They used to say it's not quality time, it's quantity, or it's not quantity, it's quality. In fact, it's a certain quantity of quality time. That's what it actually is. Your most important relationships per week need 5 hours per week. So if you have, and by the way, if you have 5 children, you can double up on the kids, that's for sure. They don't all need 5 hours per week, but your marriage needs 5 hours per week, and important for you. Now, even so, that's still you know, that's still not a lot of time in here. You still can get in high quality relationships with, let's just say, a solid, this is per important relationship. And these are all of the minutes added together. These are the things like, hey, honey, how was your day? And then listening. Hey, honey, how did you sleep? And then listening. These are, you know, date night is a couple hours. So this is, my point is you have time within your 80 hours. So then your next one, you want this one to be, you know, the number of hours, you want that to put it into relatedness. And you don't need 40 hours for that. You just don't, but you probably need 15. Now, if you're doing the math on this, you realize that's a lot of time left over for over here. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. There's plenty of time. Let me see if I can do this math really quick in my head. That's like 60 hours left over for market. You have plenty of time. So the number one, you have enough. You have enough. You have enough time. So what you're doing here is you're just putting it, you're doing a priority, and you're going to prioritize health. And then you're going to move into, now you don't wait to do this stuff. It's just on any given day. If you have to cut out a little bit of time over here so you can get in some meditation time and you have to do that. You have to cut away from here to get this. You have to cut away from here to get this. You might have to cut away from here to get this. Do you see? You have to go in this order. You have to go 1, 2, 3. And then making the mark is a thing that, like, that's the real joy of trying to figure out how do you pull it all together into something that is unique, making your unique mark. Okay, I'm going to talk with you more in another video soonish about how to do all of this. In the meantime, thanks for being here, and we're going to be doing, I'll just put this on here again and go back. I want you to enroll in this. I want you to enroll with me, and I want you to stick with doing narrative work in 2022. Narrative work is the shortcut. Okay. Tomorrow I'm going to show you something I'm really excited to show you about ways to think about above the line, below the line. But I said tomorrow, it's actually next video. Okay, talk soon.